I'm Tad Flakey, and this is Pointless Global News. On today's show, it's all about sex. First, I'll report on Vladimir Putin's efforts to boost the birth rate in Russia. That's every pervert's wet dream. And then we'll meet a woman in England who will tell us about how she deals with her very well-endowed husband. Finally, Pornhub had a lot of visitors on election night, and I'll tell you the most popular search words from each state to blow off some steam. And now the details. Russia is desperately looking at ways to tackle its falling birth rate, which has been made worse by the many soldiers killed in the Ukraine war, and some bizarre proposals have been put forward. Believe it or not, a Ministry of Sex could be set up in Russia in the latest move to remedy the country's drooping birth rate. Putin loyalist Nina Ostanina, age 68, chairwoman of the Russian Parliament's Committee on Family Protection, Paternity, Maternity, and Childhood, is scrutinizing a petition demanding such a move. This comes as Putin's officials are coming up with myriad ideas to meet his demand to halt the demographic slide made worse by the hundreds of thousands killed in the war in Ukraine that he unleashed almost 3 years ago. One bizarre proposal is to turn off the internet and even the lights between 10 p.m. and 2 a.m. to encourage couples to have sex. Yet another proposal is that public cash should fund wedding nights in hotels for couples up to a value of 26,300 rubles, in the hope that this stimulates pregnancies. The Ministry of Sex plans to take charge of initiatives to boost the birth rate that was raised in a petition organized by the GLAV PR agency. Another proposal comes from the regional health minister, who demanded that Russians create babies during coffee and lunch breaks in offices and factories in a sex-at-work scheme. He said you can engage in procreation during breaks because life flies by too quickly. The Kremlin refuses to believe that misery inflicted by Putin's war, which has seen 600,000 plus men killed or maimed, and resulting damage to family life and the standard of living, is behind a reluctance to start families or have additional children. On top of this, more than 1 million mainly younger Russians have left the country. They've emigrated to escape the war. Who can blame them? In other pointless sex news, a woman has spoken out about what it's really like to be married to an unusually well-endowed man, claiming that it's caused serious problems when it comes to intimacy. For many men, being able to fill out a pair of boxers is often a cause for a boast, whether or not their bragging is supported by actual inches or a crafty bundle of socks. However, it would seem that a sizable package also comes with a few huge setbacks, especially when it comes to bedroom antics. As per the British Journal of Urology, the average penis size when flaccid is 3.61 inches long and 5.16 inches when erect, a figure that Bridget's Zika's well-hung hubby meets and exceeds by more than twice over. At a mammoth 11 inches, Aldo's penis has certainly taken on some getting used to for the postpartum expert Bridget, who has recalled walking like a penguin after the first time they slept together back in 2015. Although she quickly realized that she had feelings for the funny and charming Aldo, Bridget knew that they'd need to have some serious conversations about her comfort, or lack thereof, between the sheets. Shortly after their first meeting, the pair fell in love and were married within a year. Soon afterwards, they began trying to have a baby, meaning that they would ramp up for their twice-monthly penetrative sex sessions, but there was one big problem that they had to address first. In a Candid article, Bridget, age 40, shared how she plucked up the courage to tell Aldo that penetrative sex could be painful for her, explaining that they'd need to move slowly and explore other avenues in the bedroom. Shedding some light on how they adapted, Bridget wrote, "We don't always have penetrative sex for starters. I've been very open about other things that turn me on, though, which seems to excite him. And there are certain positions that I prefer because they're more comfortable. We need to be more careful about how we position him. We're never going to have wham bam thank you ma'am sex. It means our sex life has to be less spontaneous for both of us, and we really don't like that. I do have to be very firm about when we can have sex and when we can't. While we enjoy reconnecting sexually after an argument, for example, our passionate make-up sex has to be more carefully planned." Aldo's trouser situation means the couple requires extra lubrication, plenty of foreplay, and a slower and gentle approach from Aldo. The couple has since welcomed 2 children into the world, according to Bridget, and their sex life has inevitably calmed down. She divulged that now we're lucky to get intimate once every couple of months. Sometimes it's penetrative sex, sometimes it's shared intimacy that means we orgasm without penetration. This new way of approaching sex means that we still have the physical closeness and pleasure, but the more relaxed schedule suits me better. Meanwhile, Aldo, who works in construction, says that he's proud of his wife for tackling this widely misunderstood taboo. He went on to say, "The last thing I'd ever want to do is cause pain or discomfort for someone I love. As for whether it's a blessing or a curse," he said, "I have no complaints." Who could blame him, right? "I know it can make things tricky for Bridget, and I'll happily do whatever I can to make sure that she's comfortable and satisfied. We talk about sex. We do research and experiment with different positions to see what feels comfortable. But put it this way, would I ever have reductive surgery? No, thank you." That's a little more nice way of saying hell no. That would be my answer anyway. Finally, Pornhub has revealed each state's top election searches with frisky Floridians perusing the porn pages for politically themed videos. The adult website shared the dirty data, giving an insight into the minds and fantasies of amorous Americans in the days before and after Donald Trump was named the country's 47th president. The data was compiled from Sunday, November 3rd through Wednesday, November 6th, with analysts looking at each state's top relative searches. For example, the terms searched more often when compared to other states. Florida, once considered a swing state, voted for Trump 56.1%, and its Randy residents certainly had right-wing politics on their minds. This makes no damn sense at all. MAGA, believe it or not, was the Sunshine State's top relative search term on Pornhub, proving Republican politics and raunchy porn could be a popular combination for reasons I'll never understand why. No other states had top search terms that were explicitly political. For example, Californians were instead looking at thick and curvy porn videos, while Georgians appeared to have a strong interest in content pertaining to panties. While all eyes were on the swing state of Pennsylvania leading up to and following the presidential election, many of its residents were on Pornhub looking at tushy videos. Pornhub is currently blocked in Alabama, Arkansas, Idaho, Indiana, Kansas, Kentucky, Mississippi, Montana, Nebraska, North Carolina, Oklahoma, Texas, Utah, and Virginia. So those 14 states weren't included in this data dump. But while America's states may have been divided when it came to their preferences for president, its citizens are seemingly not that different when it comes to their porn viewing habits. The data compiled by Pornhub revealed that traffic was up 7% on average across the entire country on Election Day, Anxious Americans in both blue and red states blew off some steam on the big day before pulling the lever, with the website visits peaking between 8 and 9 a.m. That is surprising, unless, of course, they were ritually involved in what you could only call morning wood, I guess. Some other states that allowed Pornhub data collection were far more graphically interesting leading search words. For example, Arizona's number one search word was, or words I should say, butt licking. Wyoming searched for car sex. New Mexico, butt plug. South Dakota, amateur cuckold. Minnesota, sloppy seconds. Iowa, rim job. Missouri, blow bang. Michigan, suck my balls. Tennessee, waxing genitals. And Ohio searched for nympho, which is surprising to me. I would have thought they'd gone with a more locally centered search term like Cleveland steamer. What's that? You've never heard of a Cleveland steamer? Well, you just need to search Google to find more information on that. Or better yet, search YouTube. There's actually a video that shows you what a Cleveland steamer is all about. Also, there's some other names here that didn't make the cut, like Dirty Sanchez, Russian Candy Cane, Carolina Mudflap, Tallahassee Gas Mask, and Alaskan Pipeline. And those are also searchable on Google for more information. And that's a wrap for another tawdry, pointless global news. Be sure to follow us wherever you get your podcasts. I'm Tad Flakey. Stay pointless, my friend.